Hello everyone, and welcome to this video. We are presently with Bernard and Schrick and Ismaël Saez, who worked together during Ismaël's internship at Rely, and we are here to see how this internship went and how they got along during those few weeks that they spent together. So, first question for both of you: can you please introduce the other one? Ismaël?
Sure, I can start. So this is Bernard and Schrick. He was my boss here at Rely for my internship. He's a chemical engineer from ULB, like me. During my time here, he was a product owner of ammonia, and he was the one responsible for guiding me during these months and the one overviewing my projects during the time.
And so Ismaël is an intern of Rely for 2 months, and he worked on a project on green and grey ammonia. And after the internship, Ismaël has decided to continue with us for the thesis, and I had the pleasure to guide Ismaël for both of the activities, the internship and the thesis.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what you have been working on during your internship and thesis here?
Yeah, sure. So we basically built a model which assessed some technical, economical, environmental parameters of different types of ammonia plants, which to be able a bit to compare them, to see what would be interesting for clients, and to what point the technology could be combined to produce the more environmentally friendly grey-green ammonia. And after that, we developed into the thesis where we dynamized the model and studied how, depending on parameters like the price of electricity, we could optimize production to increase revenue for our clients.
And how much is it useful for a company like Rely to have such kind of tool?
Okay, first, it was an idea. It's quite a prospective subject. So we have ammonia plant, grey ammonia plant with a lot of installed capacity and a very strong emitter of greenhouse gas. Okay, and then we have imagined to move progressively from more clean technology, and so we imagine a kind of phasing of the transition, and we asked to Ismaël to imagine how can we replace progressively the grey ammonia, which is a strong emitter of greenhouse gas, with green ammonia, which is more clean.
Let's talk now about your relationship here within Rely. How did you meet? First question: how did you meet? What was your first impression that you remember from each other?
I remember actually the first meeting. So I got this flyer from university saying that a company called Rely was offering a set of projects. And so I read this one and contacted with Bernard. Mm-hmm. And we had this meeting online. I was back in Spain back then. So yeah, it was about half an hour or so. No? We talked a bit about the project and so on. And after that, it was pretty straightforward. And after some exchanges, we got to accept the internship.
Indeed, I have written a very short, I would say, job description, 1 page, explaining what is the subject. The subject is 3 lines, not more than that, and what can be the expectation for the student, what can learn the student during the internship, and of course, what are the expectations of Rely, because at the end we need something useful. Okay, and then, as Ismaël mentioned, so we had a discussion half an hour, or not more than that, trying to have a common understanding on the objectives, and then, yes, we decided, okay, let's go.
And then, obviously, you are both not the same generation, so would you say this was a strength, or did it create misunderstandings? How did you feel regarding this?
No, I would say it was a strength because, of course, Bernard has lots of years of experience in the industry. Not much, but I'm fresh out from university, and so maybe applying some of the new courses or the new technologies combining them with Bernard's experience and knowledge of the industry and so on, I think it was a win-win kind of a case for the project.
Indeed, win-win is really a key. Is really a key. And okay, there is a gap of generation, yes, certainly. But my youngest son is in the last year of engineering, and so two years less than Ismaël. So I'm not totally out of the picture. That's one thing. And frankly speaking, I had a lot of interns during all my career, and for me it's really key to stay aware of the new generation, and personally I like to share. I like to share experience, okay, and I think it's something we must do for the next generation. Is okay, is sharing experience. At the end of the day, the student makes what he wants with what we have shared. Okay, it's not an obligation, but it's a chance we give. Okay, this is how we can imagine to work. And at the end, you make your cherry picking. You make what to. Okay, from my recommendation, you like this, you don't like this. You make your market, and take the best. That's my view.
I guess you learned a lot during this experience. What would you point out of what you've learned during these 2 months?
I mean, from a technical point of view, of course, I learned a lot of a new industry that I didn't know anything about, a product that I didn't know anything about. You know, just being into a new, I would say, a new environment, which I'm not accustomed, like a private company. But also personally, I learned a lot. As Bernard said, of course, I saw the value of investing time, taking things, slowly, looking at it, and really giving a deep thought into all these new ideas. But also, I saw how he worked with people, how he treated people, how he organized himself, and having someone to look up to is really important for a young engineer like me, I would say.
From you, Bernard, what did you learn?
First, Ismaël for me was very quick on the subject and quite autonomous. And then for me, it was an exercise of imagination to bring something to Ismaël. Because okay, if you have a student quite autonomous, you need to be more creative, because you can say, oh no, it doesn't help, it doesn't need me. And then during all the internship and more during the thesis, I had to prepare to imagine, okay, what can I bring more, and it was very, very interesting for me to ask myself, okay, if I want to stay up to date, okay, it's also a challenge. It's also a challenge for me to continue to bring new ideas on problem solving and so on. Yes, I really learned a lot, and frankly speaking, I appreciate the mix of generation, and that's also a strength of Rely, to have a dispersion of the age of the people, and it's very pleasant on the day-to-day work to live in this kind of environment.
Talking about your relationship, mentor, mentee, what made it so valuable, according to you?
For me, it was very valuable, of course, because it's not normal, I think, when you join a company, that a boss takes such a big interest on an intern, especially of someone that's staying here not for a long time. You hear these stories, of the intern that's making coffees and not doing much. So I really appreciated that. Bernard always had the time for me, even with my thesis when I was not directly part of Rely. He would always spare some time during the week. and I appreciated that a lot.
Yes, and I fully confirm the relation was very, very easy, very, very simple, very easy, very interactive. And then my way to work is to give freedom at the beginning, and to give the tools, but not more, not to be too directive. And I think it was a very good fit with my way of working, to give freedom, and the way of working of Ismaël to be quite autonomous. And then, of course, we worked together, close together, but without any constraint, without any constraint. And it was just more a relationship based on confidence between each other. And it was really, for me, a very pleasant period.
We are here based in Brussels, and you both studied at ULB, Université Libre de Bruxelles. Did it create a specific or special connection between the both of you?
Yeah, at some point I would say yes. Bernard was very passionate always about going back to ULB, and visiting. He came to my thesis presentation too, and so he explained how this building was used for this, and used for that. And it's always fun to meet someone from somewhere you've been before. And I think it was quite nice.
Yes, and thanks to Ismaël, I had the opportunity to launch at the university a serious game. I was invited by the professor of Ismaël to introduce a challenge that the students had to work on, linked to the decarbonation of industry. And I had the pleasure with Jean Jouet to introduce the subject during more than 1 hour in front of all the students. And it was a very good opportunity for me to revisit the same classroom where I was some years ago.
Okay, maybe to conclude, final question. What's the one thing you will take away from this experience?
And for me, it's the personal relationship I developed with Bernard, because who knows, maybe I'm never back in this industry again, or maybe yes. But I think I learned a lot from him. All the attention that he puts into me and the project was quite impressive. As I say, he even was there for the thesis presentation. And yeah, I think it's a relationship that I will cherish for many years, and that's what I've appreciated most, to be honest.
My confidence in the young generation. I have with Ismaël the demonstration that the young generation is well trained, very competent, and is demanding to work and to express himself. And okay, this very, very enriching experience.
Thank you to both of you for this very insightful testimonial. Congratulations for this shared experience, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.